Hi, Marianne Croce here from Small Biz Vantage and the creator of 3 Day Weekend System. And I'm glad to be here each and every week. I do these lives, I call them Auto Shop Success in 15 minutes. I do them for a couple of reasons. And the first reason is for you to be able to shift your perspective, your vantage, if you will, and take time 15 minutes a week to look at your business from that 30,000-foot view. I find that most business owners, auto shop owners, are so busy in the day to day that they don't have the time to do that. So this is a perfect way to do it each and every week. The second reason is for you to be able to take one action item away each and every week. You will hear me say this all the time, whether I'm on a live or I'm presenting in person. The magic is in the doing. You have to take action. Those small, consistent activities that you do are really what will help you have a massive impact in your business. I call it a ripple effect. So a common question I get asked is, Marianne, who do you work with? And I work with single location auto shop owners who really want to stop going 24/7. They tell me that their business is consuming them and they want to have a life without sacrificing their business. So that's where I come in and help. So this week I have a topic that you may find very interesting. I was talking to shop owners and talking about habits that we create in the beginning of our business in the early years, and we don't realize how much these habits stick with us in routines. So the topic for this week is, are your habits holding you back? If you find this valuable, I ask that you share the replay with someone that someone that you know that it could be valuable for and help. What I've learned over the years of being in the automotive industry, this is 26 years for me, that this is a very giving group. So when you think about it, the habits that we create can really be holding us back. And one of the things is freedom. When we think about freedom or frustration, two shops. What if you were thinking about expanding and going to another location? I want to share today with you, is that going to be the freedom or is that going to be frustration over two shops? And I'm using the number 2 because I see a lot of shop owners asking in groups, thinking about going to a second location. And I'm here to tell you why 3 might be the magic number. So if you're thinking about expanding your shop today, this live is really a must watch. I'm breaking down what really happens when you go from 1 to 2 shops and why most owners don't see the ROI and the ROE, return on effort, until number 3, shop number 3. So here's what happens. Distance matters. So I want to talk about this. Sometimes if you're thinking of opening up a second location and it's really close to your first one, say 0 to 30 minutes away, you're the fire chief in that shop. If your, say, second location is 30 to 90 minutes away, then what happens is you're driving between stress. You're spending more time driving back and forth than you are actually leading. And if you're over 2 hours away from your first location, you better have a duplicate version of you. So here's what actually happens. When you think about this, you have the 2 shop trap and you think you're growing, but a lot of times you're stuck in no man's land, because here's what happens. You have a lot of expenses. You need more team. You have vendors. You have drama, things going on in both shops, but you don't have enough margin to hire a general manager or operations manager. So what happens is you end up taking some of your salary and you're taking less out of the business to hire someone like that. Or you're running back and forth between the two and you're giving yourself, more to do instead of less to do. So what really happens is you don't have enough margin to also train a leadership team and then pay yourself fairly, because now you go from wearing, say, six hats day to day and putting out fires. Now you're wearing 12. So the leverage of 3 locations, with 3 locations, typically if your margins are, at the industry benchmarks, you can afford a true GM or operations manager. You gain really of scale when you think about it, right? You gain the economy of scale, bulk buying, shared roles, centralized SOPs, and you really step fully into the owner role, not the operator role. So now, as an owner, you can start focusing on high level generating revenue generating activities. You're not really the operator anymore. And that's the common thing that I see. And this isn't just in the automotive industry. I see this in other industries as well. Very common. And I've spoke to auto shop owners that were multi-owner operators, and they validated what I'm telling you. So it's a big decision. So the key difference here is at 2 shops, and 3. At 3, you stop being the glue and you build a system that runs with or without you. That's the key difference. So and it takes time, right? It takes a lot of time. So here's what I say to do instead. I don't want to discourage anyone from becoming a multi-shop owner. That's not what I'm here to do. If that's your dream, if that's what you want to do, then I say go for it. But here's what you start with if you're really itching to grow in that way. Get your first shop running without you. That means strong systems, scoreboard, and a dependent team, right? They know exactly what the expectations are. Know your real numbers. Can you pay yourself fairly and fund that leadership layer? That's a huge one. A lot of times what I find is that auto shop owners are the owner, but they also have another role in the business. They may be a service advisor. They may be still wrenching as a technician. They may have another role. So can you replace yourself in that role and step into the owner role and really focus on leadership and actually training a leadership team and having the funds to do that? So that's very important. The third one I want to discuss is build a prototype, not a prison. The first location should be a model, repeatable and predictable. And then lastly, map out your expansion org chart. If you're still in every seat, then you're not ready to scale yet. So think about that. It's really good to do a simple org chart and see what roles are needed in your company and use the roles, and then go back in and put people's initials of who's going to fill that role. And if you find that your initials is next to a lot of different things, then it's time to get that first shop going. You don't want to be in every seat. You don't want to be in charge of sales, hiring, quality control, because your business is not scalable yet. It doesn't mean that it can't be, but not just yet. So more locations doesn't mean more freedom unless your first shop is already your prototype. So if you're thinking about this, I want you to consider going in and, really relooking at revisiting how your first shop is running and the team that you have. So if you're thinking about it, don't feel shy. You can reach out to me and I'd be happy to chat with you about it. So remember that your first shop is important to get it running without you, so you can expand from a position of clarity and control. You don't want to have any type of chaos. So I'm glad you're here. And I want to remind you again, if you find this valuable or you're watching it on the replay, uh, share it with a shop owner that you think that this would be valuable for. So that's it for Auto Shop Success in 15 minutes. I'm so glad that you're here. Have an enjoyable week.